Hey guys, good global greetings, friends, and welcome to Let's Talk About It with Danelle Boyles. I'm coming to you from the United States. I like to call these little opener conversations of ours 10-minute talks, and as we hit key points on important topics, but in a compacted conversational format that's easy to digest, a way to stimulate new learning desire and to expand the thinking. In our 10 minutes today, we are taking a few for some chat and expand time on the importance of lifelong learning in a fast changing world. So come and join me and let's talk about it. I'm going to be welcoming to join us for this conversation, Maya. You said,
Hi,
hi, Maya. What is
hey, how's your Tuesday going? Sorry, did I cut you off?
No, you are fine. My Tuesday is going just fine, per usual. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking.
Eh,
Just enjoying the flow of the day. What's on your mind?
Going with the flow. Today, I would like to invite you for one of our 10-minute talks on Let's Talk About It on the importance of lifelong learning in a fast changing world.
I love that topic. Lifelong learning feels like the only way to keep up when the world is moving this fast. Where do you want to start?
Yeah. Um,
Do you think people
Sorry, go ahead.
excited about I was just wondering if you think people generally feel excited about the constant need to evolve or if it feels more like a chore for most.
I think for most people, it can be intimidating and seem like a chore. It's probably a 50-50 with most individuals. Lifelong learning is something that everybody does. We're constantly changing and evolving and learning different ways, and it's a necessary, a necessary thing.
Totally. It's kind of like a survival skill now. I think the hardest part is the mental shift from I'm done with school to I'm always a student.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you think the fear of looking like a beginner again is what makes it feel like a chore for some people?
Maybe a little bit, but I think a lot of it is comfort zones. A lot of people are very comfortable in their comfort zones, and the idea of putting themselves into new roles, especially in a fast changing world, can be overwhelming.
Comfort zones are like warm blankets, hard to leave, even when you're freezing.
Yeah.
Do you think the pressure to keep up is what actually pushes people out of those zones? Or is it usually a deeper curiosity that does the trick?
I feel like with that, the answer it depends on the individual because there are some that are more prone to want to be self learners or, that are more motivated by learning. Me personally, I was not a great student when I was younger. I was an okay student, a good student, but as an adult, I have expanded my learning tenfold compared to what I did whenever I was younger, and I openly want to learn new things every day, and I put myself in uncomfortable circumstances in order to learn and adapt to the growth and change. It's part of human evolution. I think it's when it becomes fast paced and the changing happens quickly is when it becomes uncomfortable for individuals.
That's such a powerful shift. It takes a lot of courage to actively seek out discomfort for the sake of growth. I'm curious, since you've leaned into that adult learning journey, what's been the most surprising thing you've discovered about how you learn now versus how you were taught as a kid?
I feel like with my own personal experience, the learning was limited to a very contained form. And so there was not a lot of creativity adapted to it to make it more interesting. It's, here is your learning, this is what you get. and this is, this is how it goes. um, we still very much sit in that frame of mind in education and standardized education, but it's opened up a little bit more, a little more creativity and individuality is being brought into it. But we still very much sit in that same format. But as an adult, I have complete free range over what I want to learn and what I want to expand on.
That freedom is everything. It's
Mm-hmm.
the difference between being fed a meal and getting to design the whole menu. When you're the one driving the curiosity, the information actually sticks because it matters
Right.
to you. Do you think that's why so many people struggle with learning in school because they're just following a script instead of following their own interests?
Yes, I do entirely, actually. And I'm an individual that has worked in education in different forms for over 23 years. So I experience it firsthand and see it firsthand.
That's a huge amount of perspective to have. After seeing that gap between a rigid script and actual curiosity for over 2 decades,
Hmm.
do you feel like the system is actually shifting toward that individuality you mentioned, or is it just a few small changes on the surface?
Honestly, it's just small changes on the surface. It's still very much the same, just with small breaks and changes.
It's frustrating when the change feels like a coat of paint instead of a structural renovation.
Hmm.
Since you've been in the thick of it for so long, do you think we'll ever actually move away from that standardized model, or is the system just too big to truly pivot?
I do feel like the system is too big to be able to fully accommodate and readjust the whole entire like learning system. Um, it also would probably depend on the structure of individual school systems. Like some may be more open to implementing different factors and some may not. So, but as a fast changing world, once the adaptation happens, it could happen very quickly. So, I mean, we never know. We could see a lot of differences in the near future.
It's a bit of a gamble, isn't it? The idea that a tipping point could just happen and suddenly we're
Exactly.
in
So if
a
it happens,
totally different era of learning.
no,
Since we're
it
talking about,
fast.
I'm with you.
Mhm.
If it actually happens,
Yeah.
it totally could. Especially with how quickly tech and AI are
Yes.
shifting things. It feels like the old way of doing things is becoming less practical by the
Hmm.
second. Do you think the responsibility for that shift falls more on the institutions or on the individuals deciding they've had enough of the script?
Probably more on the individuals deciding that they've had enough of the script.
I love that. It's the bottom up approach. When people start taking their own education into their own hands, it forces the institutions to react.
Right.
It's almost like a grassroots movement for the mind. Do you think that's where you're coming from with your own journey? Just deciding you were done
No,
with
not
the way.
myself personally. I mean, yes and no. Yes, understood at a young age that I did not learn and conform the same way that everyone else did. Um, it's you're taught that that's the way it is. But for me, my learning journey has been adapted to many needs throughout my different careers in life and through my global outreach work. So a lot of what I have learned accommodates the different stages of my life. And so what needed to be learned and implemented in order for me to better accommodate how I was carrying myself into different circumstances of need.
That's a much more organic way to grow. It's like you've built a custom toolkit for your life rather than
Yeah.
just following a manual. I'm curious how you
Much
think about
so.
learning.
Yeah. Mm, perhaps I can technical issues. Are you there, Maya? Maya, are you present? All right, guys. Well, it's been about 10 minutes of conversation. We're having some technical issues, so we're going to wrap it up. And today's session, the importance of lifelong learning in a fast-changing world, is one every individual can learn and expand from. And to understand that expanding yourself to new experiences does not mean that it has to be uncomfortable. It just means that you have to be open and open-minded. And as we always say, to keep leaning into those experiences and learning and expanding your mind, your heart, and your horizons. And so with that, I'm going to just say thank you for joining us today. And I hope you take away some wonderful growth and expansion from our conversation today. And remember to keep learning every day. So until next time, namaste.